Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Michelle. Today I'm going to be giving y'all an update on a goat that I have shared on previous videos. Now, this goat's name is Charlet, and I have shared a lot of information about her and some of my struggles with her. Just to give you a little bit of back history, I purchased this goat, and when I bought her, she already had diarrhea, was very thin, and I just assumed what the lady told me was that she had coccidiosis, which was supposed to be really easy to treat. However, I don't think that was correct information. This goat had other issues that were really hard to solve, and because of the issues, she had chronic diarrhea, and this caused her to be very malnourished as well as depleted in vitamins and minerals. And so I did take her to the vet, and the vet was unable to figure out what was wrong with her. And then I did test her for yoni, CAE, and CL. And she tested negative for all these things. I have a really good friend who told me some pretty good information and just suggested that this goat possibly had a bacterial infection since we couldn't figure out anything else. We were treating her with cord at one point. When I had the vet check her, her parasite level was really low, but she managed to lose a lot of fur, become really skinny, and was just sort of lethargic, laying around, really didn't get up, had no fight, no zeal, just seemed like a pretty lazy goat, but really she was just chronically ill. I shared a video on something that was working for us, and when I say working for us though, it was helping, but it did not cause Charlotte to gain weight and thrive without what we were doing. So I was giving her a supplement of zinc as well as selenium, and then I was also giving her Dyne to help her gain weight, as well as some really expensive minerals. Now I was doing all these things, and we just saw that Charlotte seemed to be doing better. However, she would not put on a lot of weight. She did not just manage to thrive on her own without these things, because as soon as we would stop giving her any one of these things, she would fall backwards and she would start to lose her hair again. She would start to lay around and seem depressed. And then, so we would start these supplements again and everything. But these supplements are really expensive, like I was sharing before. I like to do things really naturally. However, sometimes that's just not the way things work. And so the Dyne bottle that I was purchasing was almost $60 for a gallon. And I had gone through 2 and was on my way to be on bottle 3. That's a lot of money to be spending on a goat, as well as the supplements that I was purchasing for her. The bag of minerals, I think, was like $20 per bag. And so I was giving it to her, but I was also giving it to my other goats, and this was getting to be pretty costly. I was only giving my other goats the minerals, not the Dyne. And then I was also giving her the selenium and the zinc, like I told you before. But since she wasn't able to thrive on her own beyond that, I had a veterinarian give me a bottle, and I shared this in a previous video that I gave it to a goat that had just kidded and had absolutely no milk, and the babies, one of them seemed kind of weak while the other one did a lot better. I decided that since the vet had given me this supplement here, it was actually injectable vitamins. I have a bottle here, and I'm just trying to be really careful not to show you the addresses of anything on this, but inside of this bottle are vitamin E, selenium, B12, thiamine, and B complex. And what I did was I gave her 2 mLs per 100 pounds, and I was guessing she weighed no more than 100 pounds because of how skinny she was. And so I did this for 3 days as instructed on the bottle. This just made a tremendous difference in the goat. Now the vet that gave me this medication here is not the same vet that I took the goat to before. The vet I used before was a younger guy, and this other vet was quite a bit of an older gentleman. He was already close to retirement when I had seen him, and I don't know why I never took Charlotte to him. I should have done that, and I think we would have been further along a lot quicker, but I just didn't do that. So fast forward, and once I give Charlotte these injections and we're done with the 3 days, I continue to keep an eye on her, and I start to notice her body is starting to actually fill out, and she used to kind of reject the feed that we mixed with the Dyne. Like, she would nibble at it and then she didn't want anything to do with it. Like I said, she's kind of in a depressive state. So, I mean, if you think about most people when they're depressed, they sometimes don't like to eat. They have no gusto, just, you know, don't want to do anything. And so she starts eating and she starts putting on weight, and as you can see in the video here, she starts to get really round and the sunken in parts are going away. Her hair is starting to come back. You can see some spots on her where it looks like it's missing. So where she looks like she's missing hair, she actually had recently had mites, and we treated her for that with some diatomaceous earth, and we literally just doused a ton on her. And when I say a ton, I mean she was covered with handfuls of diatomaceous earth rubbed into her, and within a few days all the mites were dead. But she did have an infestation, and if you know anything about goats, when they're not healthy, they're very susceptible to parasites, worms, mites, and just sicknesses. And that's just because they're not healthy, and it's a lot easier to come down with things and for their body not to fight back when they start getting these illnesses. Now, in order to get this medication here, you actually have to see a vet because there's selenium in it. I don't know why that is the law. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was just a lot easier to be able to get this and purchase it online, or to be able to just, I don't know, put in an order from the vet and pick it up, but it is not that easy. So I would recommend that if you have a goat that continues to struggle, kind of like Charlotte did, where the goat is constantly losing fur and you're not able to get the goat to be healthy and thrive on its own, where you always feel like you're spending money and purchasing things for supplements and, you know, just trying to figure out what will work for your goat, I would honestly just recommend taking the goat in and having a relationship with a vet. That way you can just have this ongoing relationship, and that way if any other goats come down with these sort of issues, your veterinarian will already know what kind of issues the goat that you have had before suffers with. And a lot of times, if a goat is deficient in something, it's because your property is lacking something. So when you get more animals on the property, it'll be quite common for those animals to have the same issues. And so your vet will already know that. And like I said, if you have the ongoing relationship with them, they'll be able to help you out a lot easier. We've had Charlotte for a few years, and if you've watched this long, I have some pretty bad news about Charlotte too. So a few weeks after we figured out what was wrong with her and how to help her with the medication, Charlotte passed away, but not from deficiency or anything. It was actually negligence on our part. And I don't really want to go into detail or share any information just because of what happened, and that it was, I didn't want to tell you whose fault it was or anything. Like, I want to cover this for the sake of the person who had this accident with the goat, and so that, you know, healing can take place. But Charlotte is not with us, and like I said though, she was thriving. Everything was going great after we gave her these injections, and I wanted to share this with y'all in case you're struggling with a goat like Charlotte, and so you can figure out for yourself what would work best. Another thing I want to mention is I was treating Charlotte with zinc and selenium, and when I gave Charlotte the injection, I did notice that zinc was not listed as one of the ingredients on this bottle. So I did a little bit of research, and zinc and selenium deficiency can both mimic each other because both of them, they lose hair. So if you want to know what's wrong with your goat, honestly, I would recommend taking them in and having blood drawn and having their blood tested. Or a lot of times other people in the area kind of know what's wrong with animals because they have had animals and lived on the land and know what the land is deficient in. And sometimes people could just give you this information and share it with you if they live in the local area and have kind of struggled with the same thing you're struggling with. All right guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I really hope this is helpful to you if you're struggling with a goat like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Take care, bye.